బయోబ్యాంకు దాని ఉపయోగము మనము హ్యూమన్ టిష్యూ అని కానీ అందులో బ్లడ్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు ప్లాస్మా, తర్వాత సీరం, తర్వాత సలైవా అంటే ఉమ్మి, యూరిన్, స్టూలు ఇవన్నీ కూడా కలెక్ట్ చేయడము ఎన్నో ఏళ్ళ కొరకు అది మనం ఈ కలెక్ట్ చేసినప్పటికీ ఒక బ్యాంక్ రూపంలో అంటే రేపటి దినం 3 ఏళ్ల తర్వాత 5 ఏళ్ల తర్వాత అది మనకు ఉపయోగం వస్తుంది అనే భావనతో ఈ బ్యాంక్స్ ప్రపంచంలో ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేశారు. అండ్ దానికి మనం సరి అయిన ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయడానికి డీప్ ఫ్రీజర్స్ అని ఉంటాయి. ఈ టిష్యూ శాంపుల్స్ -80 degrees, -120 degrees ఇటువంటి రెఫ్రిజిరేషన్లో ఇటువంటి ఎక్విప్మెంట్లో మనం స్టోర్ చేసినప్పటికీ రేపటి దినం మనకు రీసెర్చ్ కొరకు లేకుంటే ఒకటే పేషెంట్కి ఎప్పటికైనా పార్కిన్సన్స్ డిసీజ్ ఉందనుకోండి, రేపు కొత్త మెడికేషన్ వచ్చినప్పటికీ ఈ శాంపుల్ కలెక్షన్ ఆల్రెడీ మన పేషెంట్ దగ్గర ఉన్నప్పటికీ అది తొందరగా మనము డ్రగ్ టెస్టింగ్ కూడా మనకు పనికి వస్తుంది, అది మనం ఉపయోగించవచ్చు. సో అల్టిమేట్లీ దీని అర్థం అంటే దీని నెసెసిటీ ఈజ్ ఒక పేషెంట్కు వాళ్ళు ఈ రీసెర్చ్లో భాగస్వాములయ్యి వాళ్ళు ఇందులో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసి ఈ వచ్చిన రిజల్ట్స్కు వాళ్ళకు మనం అందచేస్తే ఇంకా తీవ్రంగా కొత్తగా ట్రీట్మెంట్స్ మనము చేయగలుగుతామనేసి ఈ భావనతో ఈ బయోబ్యాంక్ మేము ఏర్పరిచాము. దీంతోనే ఇదే కాకుండా మా లక్ ప్రకారం మేము అమెరికా లాంటి ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్తో కొలాబరేషన్ చేస్తూ ఒక స్టాండర్డ్ బయోబ్యాంక్ను ఇవాళ నిర్వహించాము. అండ్ ఈ స్టాండర్డ్స్ చాలా ముఖ్యం, ఎందుకంటే స్టోర్ చేసిన టిష్యూస్ మరి అది చెడిపోతే అది పనికి రాదన్నట్టు. అండ్ దాంతోపాటు ఇదంతా వాలంటరీ బేసిస్గా ఏ పేషెంట్ కూడా ఇందులో పార్టిసిపేట్ అయినప్పటికీ కన్సెంట్ ఫామ్ ఉంటుంది. వాళ్ళకి అన్నీ చెప్పిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళకి ఇష్టం ఉన్నప్పటికీ వాళ్ళకేం ఖర్చు కాదు. దట్స్ అనదర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్. సో ఒక క్యాన్సర్ ఉన్న పేషెంట్కు ముందుకు రావాలి, వీళ్ళు పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయాలి, మా బ్లడ్ ఇస్తాం మేము అన్నప్పటికీ వాళ్ళకి ఏమి ఖర్చు కాదన్నట్టు. ఇటువంటి బ్యాంక్స్ బయో బ్యాంక్ కంటే ముందు మన దగ్గర స్టెమ్ సెల్ బ్యాంకింగ్ అని మీరు వినుంటారు ఎన్నో ఏళ్ళ నుంచి. దాని తర్వాత మనము ఎంబ్రియో బ్యాంకింగ్ ఉంటుంది, సీమెన్ బ్యాంకింగ్ ఉంటుంది. ఇవన్నీ ఇన్ఫర్టిలిటీ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఇష్యూస్కు ఈ బ్యాంకింగ్ కూడా ఎన్నో ఏళ్ళ నుంచి జరుగుతూ వస్తుంది. మా హాస్పిటల్లో కూడా ఇటువంటి బ్యాంక్స్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. సో బ్యాంకింగ్ ఆఫ్ హ్యూమన్ టిష్యూ, బ్యాంకింగ్ ఆఫ్ సంథింగ్ దట్ ఈస్ రిక్వైర్డ్ ఫర్ హ్యుమానిటీ ఇది కొత్త కాదు. కానీ బయో బ్యాంకింగ్ మాత్రం వచ్చింది దానికి అది ఎక్స్పాన్సివ్. ఇది కొత్తగా అన్నప్పటికీ ఇది కేవలం ఒక టిష్యూ కాకుండా మన బాడీ ఫ్లూయిడ్స్ అన్నీ కూడా బ్యాంకు చేయొచ్చు. దానికి అందుకొరకే ఇది బయో బ్యాంకింగ్ అని ఈ వర్డ్ కాయిన్ చేశారు. I think దీంతో we will go upstairs within just shortly, next 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll go and see the biobank and we'll do some ribbon cutting and go from there. ముందుగా మేము 3 స్పెషాలిటీస్లో మేము ఎంఫసైజ్ చేస్తున్నాము. అది క్యాన్సర్ వ్యాధి ఉన్నవారికి, తర్వాత న్యూరలాజికల్ కండిషన్స్కి. ఎందుకంటే అందరికి తెలిసిన విషయమే, న్యూరలాజికల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ 21st centuryలో కూడా చాలా కష్టము, చాలా మెడికేషన్స్ దాన్ని డయాగ్నోస్ చేయడము. ఎంత డెవలప్మెంట్ అయినప్పటికీ కూడా మనకు ఈ రోజుల్లో మంచి ట్రీట్మెంటు లేదు. సో హోప్ఫుల్లీ దట్ ఈ కొలాబరేషన్స్తో ఇప్పుడు పార్కిన్సన్స్ డిసీజ్ అనుకోండి, ఇంతకుముందు కూడా చెప్పాను, ఎంతోమందికి వస్తుంది, వాళ్ళ లైఫ్ మొత్తం చేంజ్ అయిపోతుంది. డిమెన్షియాస్ అంటాము, ఆల్జైమర్స్ అంటాము, ఇవే ఎన్నో న్యూరలాజికల్ కండిషన్స్. ఇంకా యంగ్ పేషెంట్స్లో ఇప్పుడు పార్కిన్సన్స్ డిసీజు 25 ఏళ్ళకు కూడా రావచ్చు, 30 ఏళ్ళకు కూడా రావచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ప్రపంచం అంతా అన్ని డిసీజెస్ కూడా ఒక టైంలో వయసు పెరిగినప్పుడు వచ్చే ఈ జబ్బులు యంగర్ పేషెంట్స్కు తొందరగా 20-30 సంవత్సరాలకు రావడం మొదలైంది. సో అందుకొరకే ఇటువంటి రీసెర్చ్ మనం ఎంత తీవ్రంగా చేసి ముందుకెళ్తామో అంత మన అందరికీ పేషెంట్స్కే కాకుండా మన కమ్యూనిటీస్కి, మన భారతదేశంలో బాగా పనికొస్తుందని నేను హామీ ఇస్తున్నాను. I want to welcome one of the colleagues here who is here, Dr. Suresh Reddy. If you can just stand kindly and come here. Dr. Reddy is a professor of palliative medicine and rehabilitation and head of the department at the MD Anderson Cancer Center. And Dr. Suresh is a good friend and colleague of mine. And Wednesday now he'll be giving medical grand rounds. He's one of the authorities in the world on palliative medicine, and he happens to be here. Unfortunately, his mother had, a little fracture of the hip, and she has been treated here at Continental. She's here, and she's being taken care of. I'm very proud to have you, Suresh. Thank you so much. You want to say any few words?
Not your words, Guru. Thank you very much, Guru. You put me on the spot. Thank you for that. Didn't expect that. But one thing caught my attention. Your words of this does not make you money. Biobank does not make you money. But it pays off bigger than that. Because I like the way you said about helping humanity. It's not about making money, but helping humanity, helping future patients. I think that's what is important. And that's what I want to emphasize, which fits directly into my specialty. Because my specialty, which I'm going to speak tomorrow, does not make money, but it adds more value and makes more than money. You will see tomorrow. So I think congratulations, Rishi, for this wonderful initiative. I think Continental is going to leap uh, forwards in this. It's a future research. And, I'm glad you're bringing to India because India needs to start this. Like Guru said, we lack in R&D, and this is very much needed at this time. Thank you very much, and good to see Vasu. Yeah, hello. And again, thank you for inviting.
Thank you, Suresh. I think, their wife and husbands are also doctors. So great. We'll be hearing him on Wednesday, which is very important on palliative medicine. He's an authority who speaks across the world and look forward to that. Thank you all very much. And I want to thank the press. మా ప్రియమైన సోదరులు కాంటినెంటల్లో ఇటువంటి ఏ ఫంక్షన్ జరిపినప్పటికీ కూడా మీరు అందరూ కూడా మనం ప్రోత్సహిస్తూ వస్తారు. And thanks for being here and covering this information and go from there. Thank you.
Continues to progress in innovation, and we hope Continental can play its own small piece in accelerating this innovation, specifically within healthcare. There's this new thing that's been happening, unless you've been living under a rock, called artificial intelligence, which magnifies the opportunity and the importance of what a biobank has to offer. The ability to generate all this molecular information as well as phenotypic information will now have unparalleled utility when it comes to diagnosing and ultimately treating patients. Lastly, to summarize, this initiative truly was global in its nature. One of my co-founders at Chronicle Bio, Rohit Gupta, actually spent 15 years at Stanford and built Stanford's biobank from scratch. So the technologies, the SOPs, the equipment, the privacy procedures, all established using US best practices as well as Indian expertise. We'll have flexibility across sample types. So this is fresh, frozen, tissue, blood, plasma, serum, PBMC, saliva, urine, the gamut. Everything will be digital when it comes to data collection to fuel AI models. And one area that I'm passionate about, while we'll be focused on multiple therapeutic areas, obviously a focus on oncology, GI, traditional therapeutic areas, we'll also be focusing on nebulous, complex chronic diseases, which affect about 250 million people annually, yet have zero FDA-approved diagnostics and therapeutics. Ultimately, beyond the work we'll do at Continental, we will be collaborating globally with premier institutions with the intent of bringing technologies back to this hospital to improve treatment of patients and hopefully the broader Indian population. So with that, thank you for listening. And I think Dr. Reddy, you want to come say a few words as well?
For opening comments, and Rishi for a wonderful synopsis of what we're venturing upon to do. And both of you have nicely encapsulated the vision of the biobank and the necessity in today's world. నేను ముందు కొన్ని ముక్కలు ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడుతున్న తర్వాత తెలుగులో మాట్లాడతాను, ఓకే? తప్పకుండా. So I want to give my welcome all the doctors, my colleagues, and who have been extraordinarily instrumental in every aspect and journey of Continental. I think without having the collaboration of the physicians and, of course, all the rest of the staff, which includes the nurses and the technicians and all of those who are concerned with healthcare to give the best of care to our patients, are an integral part of everything we achieve, and which is extraordinary, remarkable, I feel. Now, Continental has one unique distinction at the end of the day, which we all should be proud. We have been truly the leaders in many aspects of healthcare in this part of the world, right from the get-go. We have said this many times, but more we remind ourselves, we should feel proud. We started off in the way in which hospitals should be designed, hospital infrastructure should be, hospital systems should be. We have digitized our clinical records right from day one, which we continue to do so with more improvements and whatnot. Today, we have grown from our inception of 10 or 12 specialties to almost 60 specialties, which is a proud achievement for a young hospital. Apart from this, all of us know that we have multiple accreditations, and we never fail to get an accreditation if somebody wants to accredit us. We diligently participate in any of these evaluations, and we are fortunate enough to be recognized and awarded for our leadership. Many of our doctors have equally excelled in terms of their recognitions individually and what they have been doing in the community, and we continue to attract good talent to Continental hospitals, and more recently being in our Department of Neurosciences, in the Department of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, and in other specialties. So with this vision, this is yet another landmark of Continental, of initiating the establishment of the biobank. So the purpose of this, many times when we do some of these things, people question, this is not really conducive for, economic revenues for the hospital. Why is Dr. Reddy doing this? How is that this is going to benefit? So does clinical research, so does some of the departments that we do. We never focus from the standpoint of doing something, that is going to just basically add revenue to the bottom line, which was never my vision, neither my mission when we established Continental. That's the reason we always say this is not a corporate hospital. We are an institution. So as an institution, we have an obligation to our patients at all times. We have obligation to our communities, to our society, and to be one of the best, and continue to be the best. So with that vision, we feel that what is happening in today's healthcare in terms of progression in health sciences is collection of data. As Rishi has clearly pointed out, such a large population in the world constituting almost 18 to 20%. If you look into a research angle, truly dismal. 3% is nothing, it's peanuts. And the sad story is that a country like India, with so much of talent, for eons together, we have not produced a single drug of our own. And that indeed stands to be very shameful. We don't have any drugs, innovative drugs in the pipeline too. Today, China is leading the pack. China with 500 drugs or, about thousands of them at the design phase is going to lead the world and outpace even the Western civilization. Now, all this is basically because we do not focus on that research, data collection, okay, with that mindset, and clinicians coming forward to take this and help to use this for the larger of the humanity is something that we have been failing consistently. So there has to be a change. As great human beings we are in any profession that we take up, as well, we are recognized globally. We are serving other companies, serving other institutions, but something that is there with us when we are seeing tens of thousands of patients, we are failing ourselves in terms of how we can utilize and help our patients to deep dive into disease diagnosis, to get them the best of the best of the therapies, and continue to improve in terms of the outcomes and making them live longer. Simply put, you take any disease. Let's take diabetes for a second. Why is that in a given family, one person is born with diabetes or two, and the rest of them never get it? Or the very same two people in the same family, or if they are first cousins, if you draw the family tree, why one responds very well to certain type of medications and why not others? Same thing with hypertension. So we don't have to think in terms of cancers or complex immunological diseases or talking about, complex neurological diseases. But this whole phenotypic variation, which means to say that when you inherit a disease or become susceptible to a genetic aberration at the end of the day, what happens is that, these variations that are present within the same family or same cohort, we are unable to address them. And we are using Western data at all levels. 90% of what we do, from diagnosis to clinical therapies to guidelines to drugs, we absolutely depend on the Western data. Which we are very fortunate. The world is working for us, and we are getting it at an extraordinary cheap cost. We are borrowing their hard work. We are using for a population. But now we have to think from the angle. If our patients are not responding, if we are not able to see that change after spending, lakhs of rupees, if you're not able to help patients with cancer and all of these things, even these latest drugs which are not helping, so there is something wrong, correct? Even though 99.5% of humanity shares the same DNA, that 0.5% difference is making all these differences amongst 8 billion people. So it is time for us to look into. It's not, there are about 18 or 19 biobanks which are established in India. About half of them are in the public sector, the rest of them in the private sector. Probably more will come forward. So with the help of this as a storage repository, we will be able to contribute to research and deep learning of our patients and probably, better diagnostic tests and therapies. So the purpose of this at Continental Hospitals, we wanted to make sure, a lot of times people do something for the sake of doing or for the sake of an ulterior motive. As Rishi clearly outlined, we have followed to the T that everything should be measurable to international standard. That's the reason why we are collaborating with Chronicle Bio, and he has clearly illustrated the man behind that vision was to establish Stanford Biobank. And many of you were witness when they came to give medical grand rounds roughly about 6 months or 8 months or 9 months ago. So they have been following this. They helped us in planning the infrastructure, the equipment, and Mr. Birendra, one of the consultants, member of the National Biobank, who has been very instrumental to coordinate between the US and here. And finally, we are here today, within a very short time that will be launching this biobank. So Telugulo చెప్పడానికి బయోబ్యాంక్ అనగా